Hey guys, it's Dr. Linda Travelute from the John Maxwell team. I'm here at the International Maxwell Certification, I guess you could call it a conference. It is the training conference that we have twice a year. We get to spend an entire week with our mentor, John C. Maxwell. He just pours into us. We have our faculty and mentors here who are doing the same, some special guests and speakers. But let me tell you, I'm going to share a little tip with you that came from John, and it's really going to impact how you are able to get other people to do what you want them to do, okay? I'm going to give you a little secret. A secret. Actually, this is a gold nugget. But first, what's the most important thing that you need to bring with you when you attend a conference? Don't say your toothbrush, because you can always get those down in the gift shop, right? Most important thing is chili dark chocolate. Yes. And it even tastes better when the wrapper matches your jacket. So, yeah. No, I'm kidding. Actually, you need to have something to take notes on. That is the most important thing you can bring to a conference. Something that you can capture notes and thoughts on, because don't just let the information come into your mind and leave. You're going to have to apply it, right? So you need to take notes. Now, I use my iPad, but too, I also take time to reflect and write in my journal at the end of every day. Actually, that matches my jacket as well. Hey! I also have a black one. All right. So a lot of different notebooks that I use, some for different projects and whatnot. But if you ever go to a conference, just wanted to encourage you to get something to take notes on, so that when you get home, you can not just throw those notes in a drawer or file, but take those notes and set a block of time aside so that you can go through those notes and just reflect and continue to chew on that stuff, the content that you have been given, and allow it to continue to nourish you. And then too, what I do is I make notes inside my notebook, little to-do and action items based on what I've learned. So you're dying to know what John said about how to get people to do what you want them to do, right? Okay, here you go. Now, especially if you are a D, okay, or if you're dealing with a dominant leader, if you've ever taken the DISC test, or maybe you know that a certain leader is a D, is a very dominant person, the kind of person who likes to be in charge, the kind of person who likes to boss people around. It's usually the person at the top of the organization, or pretty close to it, because they like to be in control, right? Ds make fabulous leaders. I'm not saying that the other ones, that other type of personalities or temperaments do not, but Ds love to be in charge. Now, where Ds can get in trouble because they're dominant, they want people to just do what they want them to do. As soon as they roll out a directive or an order, they want people to jump to it, get in line, and do what they've asked them to do. And it causes a lot of frustration when people don't do what that person wants them to do right away. Think about this. Have you ever asked your child to take out the trash, and 10 minutes later you come back and the trash is still there? Same concept. Leaders get very frustrated when they ask one of their people to do something. They come back 10 minutes later and they have not moved, have not acted upon that directive. Now, frustrating, I know, for a leader, but here's what a leader can do to ensure that their people do what they want them to do, okay? Let me read this to you first, because a lot of times the boss will get caught up in emotion, okay? And this is what John said. People who are moved by emotion, he calls them moment people, because they just think in the moment. Moment people are led by emotion and let emotion control them. And that's why they keep moving so fast without considering if it's the right move. So Ds can be very emotional, so can Is, if you're looking at the DISC test. All right, but aside from all that, let's just put those labels aside. If you are the boss, if you are the leader, and you are allowing yourself to be caught up in your emotions, and you ask somebody to do something, you make a call or you give a directive based on an emotional decision, you're shooting yourself in the foot, and you're going to bring that frustration upon yourself. So let me give you a little tip. Anytime And I shared this with a COO of a major corporation in Orlando a couple of weeks ago. And I told them, this is just a fabulous tip. Anytime you are asking people to do something, especially when it involves change, but anytime you're asking folks to commit to doing a certain thing that you want them to do, you're going to tell them what to do, you're going to give them an order, you're going to give them a directive, you have to let them think through it. And step 2, you have to allow them to give you feedback. I know as a leader you don't want feedback. I know as a leader you just want them to do what you're asking them to do. But here's the advantage if you will allow them to process first and think about what you've asked them to do. Here's what's going to happen. They, just by giving them that opportunity to tell you what they think about what you've just asked them to do. Maybe let them be the devil's advocate. Let them test the idea for you. Let them come up with all the pros and the cons. Again, as a leader, you're not going to want to hear that, but put that aside. Let them tell you what they're thinking. First of all, they might just come up with something you really need to hear. But secondly, here's the big thing it's going to do for you and your organization. They'll buy in to what you're asking them to do simply because they've been given opportunity to think through it and talk about it with you. Only then will they commit to it. If they don't have time to talk about it, they're not going to buy in. If they don't have time to process it, they're not going to buy in. So please don't think that you can just give an order or a directive and people are just going to jump on it happily. 9 times out of 10, they're going to go to their area and they'll do it begrudgingly, or they'll do it with a wrong heart, or they won't do it at all. But if you give them opportunity to talk with you about it, to give you pros and cons, and then you don't even have to agree with what they say, just give them that opportunity. It's then that you can say, okay, are you going to do this? It's then that they'll commit to it. Just try it. Without the buy-in, and this is what John calls the law of the buy-in. You can read it in his book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Without the buy-in, they're not going to do it happily. But if you want to get somebody to do what you're asking them to do, get them to buy into it, and then you got it. All right? So that's going to help you and your organization grow. It's going to give you more influence. And that's what leadership's all about. So, hope you're enjoying these tips. I'll come back at you tomorrow, okay? See ya.